The Fun Pimps, the development studio behind 7 Days to Die, have recently announced a massive update for 7 Days to Die. This update will be coming on April the 15th on Steam's experimental branch, and it's called the Storms Brewing Update. This update, as the title may suggest, includes loads of upgrades to how storms are going to affect the game, environmental updates, along with loads more, such as perk rebalancing, higher game stage zombies, trees updating, crawling zombies, audio, new clothes, weapons, quest markers, loads and loads of cool stuff. Now before we carry on, look at the graph. We've made a decent amount. We brought it down by 1%. 91.3% of you that watch the channel are not subscribed, with 8.7 being subscribed. So if you like what we do here and you think the channel is useful and gives you some information on new titles that are coming, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, I greatly appreciate it. Now this update is going to be a massive one. Not quite as big as the 1.0 launch, but 2.0 is the Storms Brewing Update. Now the team say that they've been working very hard on this and it has taken a lot longer than expected. There is an anticipated build-up which is jam-packed with tons and tons of new content, new releases, progression progress, optimizations, and a ton more. This will launch on the Steam experimental branch on the 15th of April. That is what they are aiming for, so that is subject to a little bit of change. But at the time of recording this video, there's been no news of a change yet, and they released this dev letter on the 6th of March. There is a ton of updates coming to the game, and the team have said that 7 Days Blood Moons, which is their new title that they're working on, is not impacting the progress of updates to 7 Days to Die. They said that it's published by us, the Fun Pimps, but it's being developed by Illogica Studios and will not impact the progress on 7 Days to Die updates. An overwhelming majority of the Fun Pimps team is exclusively dedicated to working on 7 Days, and only a small fraction of our team is assisting on other projects. Now that does bring a little bit of worry into the equation, because if a lot of the team are not working on that new game and it is being developed by another studio, is it going to have those elements that make it 7 Days to Die, or is it just going to be a sort of rehashed version of the game that has a different premise that is not really anything like 7 Days at all, and it just uses that name to piggyback off the popularity of 7 Days? Hopefully that's not the case, and judging by some of the stuff we've seen so far, it doesn't look like that either. Now, the version 2 Storms Brewing update has a ton of new items in there. Perk updates, rebalancing, biome progression, loads and loads of good stuff. So we'll go through and see a few of these main points and see what this update is going to have. I'm very excited for this one. I will be checking it out. I still play 7 Days to Die quite a lot. I just don't upload much content on it, because there's tons and tons of creators out there that do that, and I don't really focus a lot of my time on the updates and all the nitty-gritty stuff. I like building stuff and surviving, and my gameplay style in 7 Days is probably pretty slow. I like to just dig holes and live in my little bunker and be a happy bunny. But for the Storms Brewing update, you'll be able to face the elements like never before. Conquer those tough biomes in manageable chunks, unlock permanent survival in the harshest environments, and craft temporary buffs to push you to your limits. This is survival redefined. Progressing through each biome with increased threat level and challenges: smoke, heat, cold, and radiation damage, remedies, and survival. Craft consumables to increase biome elemental resistance, complete challenges to unlock permanent biome elemental hazard immunity, and progressive biome maximum loot caps to encourage exploration. Game options will be available for custom and classic playstyles, and the new HUD and player experimental VFX and sound effects will include several new biomes that are coming to the 2.0, including the new Desert Plague Spitter. So new zombies will be coming, which I'm very excited for. There is a lot more on those new zombies in a second, but we'll go over that when we get down there. Now, I do love the idea of progressive biome loot caps, so you will have to explore a hell of a lot more than what you used to in 7 Days to Die, especially if you play with loot respawn turned off. That does force you to explore a hell of a lot more. There'll be a perk update and a rebalance as well. They've added a brand new general tab, unlocking a whole new level of customization, and they filled in empty slots in attribute lists with exciting perks. All attributes will now have 10 perks, with new and improved perks added. Each perk will have 5 individual levels and a new mastery perk set for each attribute. Move some of the new perks over to General Perks tab, which don't have attribute requirements, and they've also added a Sledgehammer Saga and a new weapon book series for the Sledgehammer weapon class. Yep, fair enough. I never really liked sledgehammers, but for those out there that do enjoy them, having this class is definitely going to be a game changer. They've also added new higher game stage zombies. Now, if you are a fan of the game and you get to the end, you know it can be relatively repetitive, but with these new zombies, this is going to make things a little bit harder. The new zombie mayhem, similar to the current green radiated zombies, they've added a new higher game stage, charged blue and infernal orange archetype groups with new behaviors. These new archetypes will intensify the later gameplay experiences, which I think is quite cool, and that will need it, especially if you are playing standard. I mean, for the people that use mods, there is an absolutely monumental amount of mods out there for 7 Days to Die that will completely reshape your gameplay experience massively. There's loads and loads of good stuff. So if you are looking for a little bit of a change, I'd recommend trying out mods. I think there's a 7-day mod launcher. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, just Google the 7-day mod launcher, and that's what I used. It works really, really well, and the game runs really nicely, smooth, and you could play a variety of mods without having to mess around too much with the game's files. Now, as well as all of that, they've got trees and foliage, which have been updated to optimize to run on the same speed tree shader for a performance boost to game, and will reduce draw calls on many others. They've also completely revamped the burnt and wasteland areas, with the trees being completely redone and having an improved look. And then adding a sub-biome foliage system, which will allow for clearings and thicker foliage forests with lower growing plants and their perimeter for a much more believable look without sacrificing any of the game's performance, which is quite cool. I mean, the trees do look a little bit meh, but the overall graphics for the game have always looked a little bit weird, so I'm glad that they are improving upon that slowly with time. They've also added a new functionality to allow zombies to spawn and crawl out of smaller 1 meter spaces and crawl under tighter areas. We've improved the tools for spawning and respawning enemies and reworked many larger POIs to take full advantage of maintaining the challenge whilst improving overall performance. The updates to the Navigator has also made performance a lot better, and it will work seamlessly with new biome progression, elemental systems, and biome boundaries, and trader POI positions have been updated to improve travel time and make the gameplay flow a little bit more from traders to large POIs and towns. The POIs in the world are also expanding massively. They're aiming to add a new 50 points of interest, adding more depth and variety to the worlds, with a greater variety of POIs for the wilderness and more remnants for performance. They've also updated some of the existing POIs and demanding areas to perform a lot better. The sneaky zombies are now using crawlouts to surprise you, so you must watch out. So areas like the Dishong Tower and some of the bigger towns that have a lot of zombies in there, and it really does affect your performance, especially if you trigger a lot of them at once. It can be quite tough to get around. So adding that really will help expand and improve performance overall. I do think that 7 Days to Die, as it stands, runs exceptionally well for all of the stuff that's going on in there. But more performance improvements, the better. They're also going to be making tons of audio and visual improvements as well, such as things to random gen, having wilderness spawning being improved, more POIs being able to spawn around you in wilderness areas, and road placement being improved also, as well as cosmetics and what you wear for protection and how you want to look with new cosmetic outfits will change things overall. They'll be adding DLC options to Twitch drops to 2.0, so you'll be able to unlock tons of new content if you do follow their Twitch drop cycles. There's also been loads and loads of quest marker changes and being able to spawn on different areas as well. The new quest marker will now display custom quest flags, which allows you to see custom types of quest, and you'll be able to change it per type of quest that you're playing. So that's going to help sort of redefine a lot of the areas that you go to do those quests, rather than having tons of exclamation points all over your map, which I do quite like, and it will tidy things up a little bit more. Now, crossplay is something that they have been working on for a while, but they don't officially know if consoles will be able to play on dedicated servers until passing certification on each platform. So they say fingers crossed for that one, and hopefully that is something they can get worked out before the update goes live. For now, though, that is it from me. This update overall is pretty damn good. I do like the changes and improvements they've been making to 7 Days to Die since that 1.0 launch back in 2023, I believe it was. Overall, absolutely love this. This is one of my all-time favourite games and a game that I'll always come back to. So if you do want to see more content on 7 Days to Die, let me know in the comments down below. But today, though, we're going to wrap that one up there. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. I've been Wired, you've been awesome, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.